All right, so on this variation here is Dan gonna reach down and he's gonna give me a hard gun grab, okay? So basically the same move that we just went over with a little bit of variations. What are they? Feet down, all right? He grabs, I grab. Lift my hips up, shoulder walk backwards, elbow in, lazy sit up. Same thing as we learned before, slide our hips away, all right? Armpit over shoulder here, and this is where we have the lock, all right? Now we're going to bring them to the handcuffing position. Uncross your legs, walk away from me, walk away from me. I give him a kick here. I bring the hand here to the small of the back, holding on to the lock until I can get on both of my knees. Once I do that, as I let go of my wrist, all right, my knee here closest to Dan's head is going to be on the tricep here. My leg here closest to hip is going to step over. All right, my partner right now is just going to give me a straight hand and I have a wrist lock. This is where I give him a little bit of pain compliance. And then we go here to the default position here of our handcuffing position, which is my knees are and my calf here are pinching inward. We see all of this space here, so there's no interference with my partner's availability to breathe. And this is where my partner here would handcuff. All right, so a little bit more explanation on this. So the reverse down arm lock is the same as what we learned here, but a different variation. He gives me that hard gun grab. He grabs, I grab, boom. Feet down, hips up, shoulder walk, elbow in, lazy sit up. Now we're gonna do that, sliding our hips away while pulling on the tricep to get my partner flat, recrossing my guard. Now I'm gonna take that submission, armpit over my shoulder, grab my own wrist. Now from here, again, elbows in, all right? We're gonna get that Dr. Pimple Popper pinch, and we're gonna slowly turn, all right? Now, when do we handcuff? All right, when backup arrives. There's no need for us to move to a handcuffing position until backup arrives. I use this to negotiate. So if this person starts fighting with me, I start giving him more pink light. Stop fighting, stay where you are, don't move. When backup arrives, I have to create space. Any time that you create space, that gives the opponent the availability to escape. So naturally, we're gonna want more officers there with this. So officers are there, I'm ready to handcuff, I uncross my legs. I'm gonna direct the opponent to walk away from me. So as he walks away, this top leg is gonna come up here and underhook him. So he starts walking his hips off my legs. I always bring the hand here to the small of the back, okay? Notice here on how I'm keeping this lock here. I'm not letting go of my own wrist until I come up here on my knees. All right? Very important detail here is my knee here wants to be above the elbow, and I'll explain why in the common mistakes. All right? I'm going to step across here with the leg here that's on the hip side here, and this is where I have a wrist lock. Put your other hand behind your back. Boom. All right, I step forward right here, so my shin's right there on the outside of that bicep, tricep area. And very big in detail here is I'm pinching in. This is what makes it hard for that partner to be able to pull those hands underneath his core. But this is the default position. Is right now you can see that my partner has the availability to breathe. There's no infringement on the inhalation or respiration process. We'll talk about here in the next video on distributing body weight if necessary, but this is always going to be the default position to where we can control somebody and a secondary officer would be able to handcuff. So when it comes here to the common mistakes regarding this handcuffing position, there's a few of them. All right, so this time, once again, he gives me that feed. Boom, he grabs, I grab, feet up, shoulder walk backwards, doing that same movement that we've learned. All right, recross our legs, armpit over the shoulder, squeezing our elbows in until we get that tap. All right, now a lot of officers here is they'll forget to uncross their legs. They'll tell him, hey, walk away from me. Well, he's got nowhere to walk, so I gotta lay my bottom leg flat. But the big mistake here is, as I say, walk away from me. A lot of officers will forget to bring this top leg here to give them a little bit of an assist. You'll notice as you bring this leg here, he's walking away. Sometimes he doesn't walk away, so you actually have to move them yourself. Now this will be one of the biggest mistakes that you will see officers make, is they will let go of the lock here before they come to their knees. I'm in a very bad position here because I have no bait. I don't want to let go from there because if he can re-engage in the fight with me, now I'm in a scramble. So I hold on to this arm here, keeping my own wrist until I can come up here. Another big mistake that officers make is notice I always brought Dan's hand here to the small of the back. If I start moving it up to the upper part of his back, that's going to naturally cause more pain. And even if he doesn't want to fight me, the body's natural reaction is going to be able to move away from that pain. So it's making somebody that could be cooperative and turning them into a non-compliant subject. Now, these will be the biggest mistakes here that you'll see with getting to that default seated position on the hip. The big detail is here is I want my knee here closest to the head on the outside of the tricep. A lot of officers will put it below the elbow. And if I'm below the elbow, then he has the availability to get core strength, which this is a problem that we deal with in the back control class when we deal from the seated position and when people have their own arms here with core strength. So the big detail here, make sure you have your knee there so he can't pull it back. All right, I step across there. This is where I got that wrist lock. All I'm doing is bending the fingers backwards. All right, boom. All right, all right. So big thing here with the default position is we want all of this space. Our big indicator is going to be adding weight, is what we'll be discussing here in the next video, is based off of that elevated threat. But this is always going to be my go-to platform, and then if I meet any levels of resistance, we'll go through those in the next video.